I'm just going to dive right in. Can anyone explain to me, after the weeks, that we've had in the last couple of weeks, important conversations, lots of black boxes, lots of name changes, why did Mickey Guyton for Black Like Me get one ad at radio? It's confusing to me. There was a accountability sheet getting passed around Nashville, and I don't want to call the publicist out that it was. She seems like a well-intentioned and honestly sweet lady, but the type of kind of fear-based, thought policing, the direction that sends us down, I think it produces things like what happened with Lady Antebellum, where teams are like, we have to come out and support. We have to come. I mean, this list had like Dolly Parton on it and Willie Nelson. I mean, that's what really pissed me off, honestly. Put Dolly Parton on there. But the direction that the fear-based direction where you're trying to really like police people into thinking a certain way, the way that sends us down, it sends us into what happened with Lady Antebellum. I feel like teams are just kind of like, well, I better post my black square. Everyone's gotta like me still. Okay, what can we do in support? All well intentioned, I get it. But Lady Antebellum, what do we do? Antebellum's slightly, in some way, tied to a period of time before the Civil War. Let's change it to Lady A. Oh, fuck! There's a blues African-American artist in Seattle named Lady A, and we just stole her name. Or maybe they knew that it was, maybe they didn't know that there was a blues artist. I mean, they didn't reach out. It's like, I just feel like that direction is not the way to go. Where we show that we are listening and learning is where it matters. And with radio, I mean, supposedly, I don't really get it, but that affects the pocketbook in some way. So we had a chance, and here's the thing: is like, I understand that like singles don't go to radio right away. I think that's, from what I understand, with like a month and a half in the music industry, that's how it works. But I know there's early ads, and I know also, hey, it's not that hard. Just slide the song in there. I'll give you a tip. Control F and enter Dustin Lynch, and just like take all of those boxes out of your little programming square thingy and input Black Like Me. That would send a much better message to our industry. Show that we're listening. That that to me, like a black square. What is it? I mean, what are you sacrificing there? You're not sacrificing a chart position. You're not sacrificing spins. And also, why is it a sacrifice? Why this is a relevant, important song right now. Why is it being played? I don't get it. I'm just an intern. What do I know? So maybe you guys can help me out with that. Maybe you can explain it to me. I want to tell you a story. It's about my time in the Army. I had the opportunity to be a platoon leader, which is, you're in charge of up to 40 people. For me, it was a lot less because we weren't at 100% with our personnel. But we had a lot of equipment, and we had to take care of the equipment. And Army equipment is always breaking. So on Mondays, we would do maintenance Mondays, motor pool Mondays. And we would go into the motor pool and we'd fix, we'd inspect our equipment, after either we trained with it or just as a process of our maintenance, we'd inspect, and there's a detailed, process that we have for doing that. And as a platoon leader, I'm out there like supervising that. And I would walk by, we had this fire direction center. was essentially just an armored box on tracks that we would send, and then it would take too long to explain. Anyways, we would I'd walk by this every week, and I noticed that, you know, an important part of this equipment was a huge antenna that would come up the back, and there was a something that would lock it into place, like a bracket or something, and it was broken. And you know, if the antenna falls off, we're fucked in a major way. So I talked to the guys. I'm like, hey, we got to get this on the 5988 and ensure that we order this part and get it replaced. So they do it. And I walk back next week. You know, okay. Well, you know, I don't remember all the details, but okay, maybe it's coming in still. All right. So I come back the next week. And I'm starting to get really frustrated with my guys. I'm like, show me where you put it on the sheet, where you wrote it down. And they're like, sir, when we have copies. We'll show you. This is where we put it. This is where I put it this week after week. We put it on. All right. We're doing our job. So I'm like, you know, something doesn't smell right here. Something doesn't smell right. You start to get this feeling in your stomach, in the pit of your stomach, that there's not something right here. And it turns out, it took me a couple weeks to figure this out, but our head maintenance mechanic guy, who's in the Army, had a stack of papers, these 5988s with all of our equipment requests, or our repair requests. He had a stack of those, 6 months worth of them, in the back of his office, and he wasn't submitting them at all. So he would just kind of put in orders for what he felt like was relevant, and anything else, you know, go fuck yourself. But I, you know, and again, I don't want to beat people over the head with the military thing, but one of the things I feel like a skill I've learned is you start to sniff out tension areas and inefficiencies, and country radio just doesn't fucking add up, man. And I've really tried to understand it since I got here. One of the reasons that I'm doing this right now, and I think this is important to do, is because I've learned in coming to 30 Tigers and being an intern at 30 Tigers, that one thing that we do, and I think a huge part of what the business side of the music industry does, is we're constantly pitching songs, selling songs to middlemen. So we pitch to digital service providers like Spotify, Pandora, Deezer, Tidal. I forget there's a couple other ones, surprisingly. Apple Music. Oh. We're constantly pitching to radio. Hey, AAA radio, this is why you should play our song. Hot AC, this is why you should play our song. 30 Tigers doesn't get any songs on country radio. So, yeah, actually, the joint venture Triple Tigers does. So hopefully, you know, I'm maybe stepping on some toes here, you know, but listen, I'm just an intern. What the fuck do I know? Back to my point. What's been confusing to me is, why are we constantly pitching to these middlemen? Why don't we just pitch directly to the consumer? Right to the fan. We have the technology. I'm sitting in my fucking attic recording this right now, trying to be quiet because my sisters are sleeping. I don't get it. And then you start to learn, okay, well, there are these radio promoters. And radio promoters, they get discretionary funds. Oh. What is a discretionary fund used for? So then you start to realize that there's this system of, you know, certain people are benefiting from this system and certain aren't. I know Mickey Guyton isn't. After the couple weeks that we've had, even here in Nashville, she gets one fucking ad on Black Like Me. Black Like Me? Are you fucking kidding me? It does. Someone explain it to me. You know? I don't get it. As a new professional in this industry, we need to fucking expect better out of ourselves. Yeah, so maybe I'll learn about that after I post this. Someone will educate me. You know, you get told things like, oh, we need a chart story. We just had an artist, Katy Groves, release an EP, and she died unexpectedly about a month ago. And this EP is summer bop-ish, pop country. It's awesome. But she's not in the system. She's not wetting the beak. She's one of our clients. She's not one of the big three. So will she get played on the radio? Her final life's work? You don't give a fuck about a chart story. What you give a fuck about is who's lining your pockets. Who's got the discretionary funds? I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm onto something. Maybe I'm not. That being said, new media, I think, is here to take over, and I want to be a part of that. If you as a fan would like to be marketed to directly from the people that are passionate about this music, then support this, okay? Because I can guarantee you, radio isn't LinkedIn. You know, the DSPs are looking out for their own interests, the bottom line. And ultimately, with every single one of these middlemen taking their cut, it's the artist that gets fucked. If you care about the art and that's what you're passionate about, what can we cut out that's going to support them better? And that's one of the reasons I'm here to learn from 30 Tigers. I'm just an intern. I don't know. Maybe I'm off. I'm going to be honest. I didn't really want to like talk about that stuff on my first episode. But to me, I mean, with Mickey Guyton, I mean, of course, the premise I'm pushing forward is that it doesn't fucking matter what's happening right now in the world. And this is why I feel like radio, I understand there are people that still listen to it, but it's just not, it doesn't matter anymore. It's not tied into who the fans are. It doesn't fucking know. Because I refuse to believe that the music that country radio pushes is who the country fans are. Because country radio is oftentimes explicitly sexist. And in this case, I mean, if there's one institution that I could point to in Nashville that would have me believe in systemic racism, like, where's the support, you know? Hey, whoa, look at me. I'm editing this video. If you enjoyed it, please, and you'd like me to continue to make videos like it, please like, subscribe, and I'll put some videos here and here. And maybe I won't do that, and that'll be funny. But it's just us here. Thanks. Okay, bye.